Hello and welcome to the Knitting Traditions podcast. My name is Inga and this is my little corner on the internet where I talk about my knitting. I am recording outside again, so the weather will change probably a little bit. It switches between sunny and cloudy and a little bit of wind, but we'll just see how it goes. And yeah, that's just how it is to record outside. This is my balcony. I try to spend as much time out here as possible. I live on the west coast of Norway, and when I'm not knitting, I am working as a doctor in obstetrics and gynecology. So, since last time it's been Easter and I've been knitting several things. The spring spirit has really gotten to me, and every spring I just want to knit all the colors, hence my newly finished garments. This is this year's Easter sweater. I cast this on the Wednesday or Thursday before the Easter weekend, and I knit on nothing else. I really wanted to wear it, but I didn't make it. I finished it one day after Easter because I was also working. This is some really old stashed yarn that I got from, I think, Prague in the Czech Republic. That's right? I think so. I went there years ago with my boyfriend for a weekend and I got this yarn, and I tried to Google this yarn. That I wrote marlen made in Czech Republic, and that directed me to some shady websites, so don't Google it. But I wrote in the www.marlen.cz, and that took me to their website, and they have lots of yarn. This is 100% wool yarn. It's non-superwash. It's a single ply. It's quite chunky. They recommended needle size 6 to 7 millimeters. It's 100 grams and 145 meters. I believe this is, when I looked through their website and translated it to English, I believe they're out of stock of this one, but they have this colorway which I think they called orange, even though to me it's like a warm yellow. They had it on different bases. So yeah, I bought 8 balls of this years ago, envisioning it to be an Easter sweater, just never got around to it. I don't really like knitting with chunkier yarns, and I didn't know how the quality of this would be. Now that I have knitted up with it, it's next to skin soft to me, not itchy at all. It's a different kind of feeling. It's not supposed to be superwash, but it almost feels a bit like it. It is starting to pill, but that's okay. I didn't expect it not to, since it's not applied yarn. Hope maybe you can see how it looks. When I started knitting with this, I didn't know how I felt about the color. I figured, this is just an Easter sweater, it's fine, whatever. But Matthias actually really liked this color, and that made me look at it in a different way. And since I finished it, I've been wearing it a lot. It's a very happy color. It makes me happy to wear it. And the pattern that I used, I thought I brought the book. Yeah. So last episode I showed this book. I showed this book that I got from Sandnesgarn. It's a Norwegian yarn producer. They also make patterns for their yarns. This is the February 22 edition, called Myk til dame, which means soft for women. And I made this sweater on the front page here. It's called the Franky sweater. And they recommended 2 yarns, or 2 different yarns you could choose from. One of them was their Kos base, which is really nice and soft. I wanted to use this yarn, so I swatched somewhere here. I think I swatched with a 6 millimeter and then a 5.5, and I didn't really like the gauge. It was very loose, quite uneven. So what I ended up doing is I actually knit this on 4.5 millimeters for everything except for the neckline, which was 3.5. This was uncomfortable to knit, but this was okay. Didn't hurt my hands too much. And I like the fabric that it turned out to be. And yeah, I think the sizing was not very good for this pattern. I think it only comes in 3 sizes, which is not the best. It is easily modifiable, that you could just keep knitting, and also you could change your gauge. I think I made the smallest because I used a thicker yarn. I made the smallest size, and I think that's the only modification, that my gauge was maybe slightly off, so I made the smallest size. Yeah, I think so. I don't think I did. I might have funked a little bit with the raglan at the end, because I thought the arms looked quite small and the body huge. So I think I did some more increases at the arm and less at the body, just at the very end. Not a huge difference. Ooh, I'm gonna sneeze. Pollination is starting. I need to get some allergy meds. All right, another finished object since last time are these pair of socks. I would say these are the Gru socks by Fiber Tales. It's her sock pattern that has this beautiful detail on the cuff. I used this yarn, which I've had in my stash. I lost the tag since last time, but I believe it's the Wool Barn yarn. And it's a sock yarn with merino and cashmere and nylon, I think, yeah. And it's beautiful, it's really nice and soft, and I'm looking forward to wearing these. I will say that she used a 2x2 cuff. I did a 1x1 because that's my preference, and after doing the beautiful detailing in her pattern, I kind of just continued with my regular vanilla sock. Not because there's anything wrong with her sock, it's just I was on a good go and I didn't want to keep checking my phone, so I just did a regular vanilla sock. But this is her pattern. It's beautiful, well written, highly recommend. Since we talked last, I whipped out one of my earliest garments. This is the second garment that I ever knit. I freestyled this and I'm quite proud of it, to be honest. It fits really well. I did some shaping. I think I started at the bottom and then I did the decreases until I reached the waist, and then I did some increases again. I tried it on as I was knitting it and I kind of shaped it to my body, and it's a stretchy fabric because bodies change. The yarn that I used, I knew nothing about pairing yarn. I have no idea how I came up with this, honestly. I think what I got was cheap yarn, to me, what I could get my hands on. I got some green, I think it's Flora, it looks to Flora to me, from Drops, and then some white kid silk from Drops. And then I held them together to knit with thicker needles. I think that was what I was thinking. And it created a marled fabric, which to me it looks nice. I don't really go for marled yarns, but pairing a light mohair with a color is nice to me. It kind of lightens the fabric. I believe I knit this on 6mm needles. What has prevented me from wearing it a lot, however, is that I bound off the sleeves and then I sewed them onto the body. And that was very tight and uncomfortable and I didn't like it. So I figured, yeah, I was going through my cabinet, putting away knits that are very wintry and bringing out my summer knits. And I was looking at some of the knits that I don't really use, and I was figured either I will gift some or donate some, maybe sell some. But this one I really wanted to keep because the body shaping is really nice. I love this dress, but this was preventing me from using it. So I spent several hours unpicking 2 strands of yarn, where one is a mohair and it was felted here because of that tightness. So it took me several hours to unpick them, and then I put the sleeve stitches back on a 6mm needle, and then I knit it, holding the work on the inside out, putting the sleeve on the needle here. I knit the stitch from the needle to one of the stitches on the body, and then another stitch, and then I bound off the regular way you would bind off. So that's what I did, and it creates much more of a, it's not super stretchy still because the body is also bound off, but it's a lot stretchier than what it was. So now I can wear it, and I wore it yesterday. I'm not gonna put it on now because it's not really that warm here and I can't be bothered. Okay, I have another finished garment since last time. This is a freestyled, in between seasons, summer, winter, whatever you want, silk mohair top sweater. It's I knit this bottom up, so it has a rolled hem. The sleeves do as well, but they just don't roll. And there are raglan decreases on every second row. I think I have 10 stitches underneath here that had to be grafted together at the end. And I put a little tag in the back. I did some German short rows just to raise the back a little bit. And the yarn that I used was Gepard Kid Seta Tweed. Huge fan of this yarn, it's beautiful. This was the first time knitting with it, and I bought more yarn and cast on another. So yes, this is finished. Now I can start wearing it. Hopefully you can see how the color is very lively. That is the tweed effect of the Kid Seta yarn. It's not tweeds, it doesn't have the little neps, but the mohair on the kid silk has color variations, very subtle and very beautiful. I bought this yarn some months ago, and I think did I get away with 4 balls? Yeah, this is the 4th ball that I broke into. They come in 25-gram balls, so I got a garment for me out of 4 kid silk balls. And I love wearing these. They are see-through, yes, but not super see-through, so I will wear this with just underwear underneath, and it just gives me that bit of warmth without being like a thick layer of wool like this one, but it's almost just as warm unless it's windy, so that's really nice. And I wanted to make another one, and I'm keeping this in my Prairie Bag Works bag, which I was gifted, and it's just sweet and beautiful. And I have been knitting another one, and this one I am making top down. I used the bottom up to get kind of the numbers that I wanted for, I used gauge to cast on stitches for the body and the sleeves, and then I did raglan decreases until I liked the neckline, and then I just did some more with the German short rows, and now I've reversed it and I'm doing it top down. I cast on with 2 strands of yarn just to get the upper neckline cast on to be a bit more sturdy, but it's wide, so it's not like I have to pull it over my head or anything, so it's not gonna get that much traction. It's fine. I will put a tag in this one as well. I have finished the raglan increases For the raglan decreases, I just did it on either side of a marker. Here I have done 2 stitches between the increases just to make it look nicer. I felt like the raglan, even though I have the same needles, same yarn, and same stitch count, I felt like this one is steeper than this one, that it's more shallow, but I'm not sure. We shall see. I've picked up stitches underneath on the body, and I'm currently just knitting the body. And I'll do the same 3/4 sleeves, I think. I might do an I-cord bind off on the body, or maybe an Icelandic bind off, something that, just to make sure it's not super tight. If I can bind off in a regular way and it won't be tight to get on, that's fine. But if not, an I-cord, Icelandic bind off, stretchy bind off, something. And this color is making me so happy. It's very spring-like to me. All the bright colors are spring-like to me, and they just give me a lot of joy. The rest of the year, earthy tones, but now when it's starting to pop up some flowers and the sun is out, this is giving me all the feels. And I have only 4 balls of this, so top down you have more control over your yarn usage, so you can stop when you're running out, which is great. And this is the color 420. Yeah, the color is 420 for this pink one. And the green one that I showed is the color 870, if anyone's interested. I bought the green one in Oslo in a knitting store. I think the store was called Frukvist. And this one I bought in Kristiansand at a store called Carmen, I think it was. So yes, current whip. I have also been working a little bit on this cardigan that I have shown before. Somebody wanted to see the front page of because this is the garment that I am making, and this is the front page of this pamphlet book thingy with patterns. It's redesigned to adults, or redesigned to vuxen, 243R. That's the magazine with the pattern that I'm using, which is mod 243/5. And last time I had finished the body, so the body is still finished. I have not steeked it. I will probably not steek it for a while. We shall see. This sleeve was finished last time as well, but I have worked on a little bit on the second sleeve. I think I was here last time or something, and I finished that report, this report, and I started this report. So yeah, it's gotten a little bit of work. I've just been knitting other things. I'm in no rush to finish this, and I think also because I'm not sure about the steeking process of it all, because my sewing machine is not friends with me. I'm just going to knit with it and I feel like it. Most of it is already done. This will be done in like a day or two. It's fine, and then I'll finish it at some point. More whips. I have been putting in some work on my no frill sweater. Oh, by the way, I'm using rauma finull for the colorwork cardigan, but a lot more info in the previous episodes. And I've been working on my no frills by Petite Knit. I have since last time finished body sleeve, and I'm now working on the last sleeve. Doing decreases, I'm using my 11-inch circulars from, I think, Sandnesgarn, and my to-be knitted stitch marker. I love, love, love this color. The color play in it is beautiful. Right now I want to knit all the spring colors, but this one is stunning and the fabric feels amazing even though it still has a lot of spinning oil in it. I am using the knitrennie cones. Everything is tangled. I'm using the knitrennie cones, which is, this one is a blend of supersoft and cashmere in the color Rusty Pecan. And I have wound off some yarn, so I'm holding it double. This is lighter than a fingering weight, but holding it double using the recommended needles in the pattern, I got perfect gauge. So that's what I'm doing. I knit the small size minus an extra, I've done one less raglan increase, so it's slightly smaller than the small, and I think it's gonna fit me perfectly. I briefly tried it on and it looked good. It still has a little bit of positive ease, but not a lot, because her patterns usually have a lot of positive ease, and as a tall person I feel like I only need so many tents in my wardrobe, this being one of the tents, but this is color work, colorful, so it's fine. And I've also cast on, maybe this first. This is from the Blue Rabbit House. I bought this, I think I showed it last time. The Blue Rabbit House had an Equinox box, and I bought this in addition, and I thought it was just so cute. And I've been carrying it around like a tiny little purse with my knitting. And I think I might be sitting on a whip, or I've dropped it. Anyways, I have more whips than I thought I did. I have cast on briefly, almost, beginning. This is gonna be a sock. I haven't gotten very far, but that's okay. This is just one of those in-between knits, knit in the car, a quiet moment here and there. And this yarn I bought from Zakami last year. I saw it on their webpage and I just thought the color was so beautiful. I don't gravitate towards blue, but this minty, ice, watery, glaziery color I think is stunning. And it's a sock yarn, but like a luxurious sock yarn, if that makes sense. They have a lot of luxurious bases and I want to try them all. This base is their, it doesn't say on the name of the base, I think. The color is Lulu and it's 60% superwash fine merino with a 21 micron count, 20% baby alpaca and 20% mulberry silk. And it's 115 grams in this. It's a single ply. They call it fingering weight. However, I will say I am knitting this on my regular 2.25 needles, which I use for my socks, and usually then with the fingering weight I'll knit a 64 to 60 stitch. And when I was casting this on, I felt like when knitting it up it was thinner than a fingering weight, at least the fingering weight I'm used to. So I did a 72 stitch and I've decreased down to I think I have 70 stitches on my needles right now, 70 or 68, so more stitches than I usually do, and it's looking okay. So for me it's slightly thinner than I'm used to. It's beautiful. I love how the colors are playing together and I think it's gonna be a really nice sock. It feels nice. I wish it wasn't superwash because I can feel that a little bit, but having that silk and alpaca in it kind of makes up for it, so it still feels nice to knit with. So I'm excited to have this at some point in the future, just making some vanilla socks. I've since last time made one square for my finull square blanket. 30 stitches, 30 garter bump rows. One. I've made a lot more. I'm just knitting on it in between, but I wanted to knit on something like this and not just squares this month. So that's what I started. Let's see if I can't find that other width. There it is. So in the other bag that I got from the Blue Rabbit house, I bought the Spring Equinox bag, which was the mushroom and frog theme. And since last time I cast on a hat, and I've almost finished a hat, just doing the crown decreases right now. This little wooden mushroom was in the Spring Equinox. The other stitch markers I bought from, what's her name? I think I have it. I mean, I know her private name because we actually went to school together. She was in the year above me, but I'm not gonna say that name here. I thought maybe I had kept her Instagram handle. She sells these stitch markers on Instagram at least. Yes, I still have some more that I haven't put on my knitting yet. Okay, her handles is Pearls and Knits by Bergesen. So you can find her at purlsandknits.com. And they are really, really pretty stitch markers. Definitely my colors. I had a day where I wanted to invest in some new stitch markers, and she was one of the people I came across, and I already knew about her, but I saw these stitch markers here and I just could not resist getting some from her. And the pattern for this is the watch cap hat by Purl Soho. Very stretchy. I've made this twice before in the bloom base by Knitcrate. And it's one of these that you fold up. Before, with the bloom, I made the tiny adult or small adult, and it was huge, so I made the toddler, which fit me. But with this base, which is also one of the Knitcrate yarns, this was thinner than the bloom base. This has, let's see, first the name, it's Vidalana Ascendance by Knitcrate, and it has 300 meters, and I think the other one was 200 or 215 meters. So this time I made the small adult again, and I think strands of yarn, I think this size is good for me in this yarn, and I think it's gonna look nice in early spring now when it's still cold with the colorful knits that I'm making, and for the winter it's just gonna look good with everything. So just finishing up this right now. I have one more ball of this, so maybe I will make another hat to gift. Haven't quite decided. I don't need to decide right now, but yeah, this is a great simple knit. It's fast if you don't mind purling because it's knit purl. It's a free pattern and one of my favorite hat patterns. I almost forgot to show the last whip that I cast on. So my aunt is turning 60 and I wanted to knit something for her because I always find it difficult to know what to give people for these big days, and hand knits, I feel like if they knit themselves or they know about knitting, then at least they know that you've put effort and time into the gift. So I finished one of these yesterday, and this is my own pattern. This is my Huldras mittens, just that for the color work I did one row of just the green color in between the colorwork rows, so every second row with the colorwork, if you want to make that modification. I also carried the colorwork on the thumb, and the second one I'm currently working on. There's some ends to weave in. I'm just working on the upper part here, and then I'm gonna do the thumb and it will be done. I am using a mix of finull and Marie Wallen British breeds. I wanted to use the British breeds for everything, but I didn't think I would have enough. I had 20 grams of the green from Marie Wallen, and she's a medium size. I wasn't confident that I could get by, so I'm using that for the cuff or the rib sections, and then I'm using finull for the middle. It's almost the same green, but the British breeds is slightly thinner and softer, so I figured that would be nice for the cuffs. Yeah, so one pair of mittens, Huldras mittens, just with some extra plains rows in between for my aunt. Almost done. I'm knitting with magic loop. This looks like a mess, but I have the thumb stitches on 2.5 millimeters needles, and the colorwork I'm doing on 2.75, and I haven't woven in any ends, so that's why it looks like a mess. And speaking of, we can section into, I think this is all of the knitting. We can section into the acquisitions part, and if that's not your cup of tea, then I will see you next time. I hope you're doing well. And for those of you who like acquisitions, I have some to show. So I'm an affiliate member of knitcrate, so they send me yarn every month for free. And I also have a link and coupon code that if some of my viewers use it, I get a little bit of money from knitcrate. And the last parcel that I received from knitcrate was, I don't remember which month, March? Was it March that had the fade set? Anyways, there's a fade set, and with knitcrate you get to see previews of the yarn, but you don't get to choose the color if you have the monthly subscription. That's sort of a surprise, and to my not so happy surprise this time, I got the only fade that I didn't want. Like I said, I'm not a blue person. This blue I can do for the right project, but a blue fade is just, I'm never gonna make something with a blue fade, just because not my kind of colors. This is the worsted weight knitology by knitcrate, so it's four skeins of yarn, and I'm thinking, since this is beautiful yarn but it's just not for me, I want to do a giveaway for the podcast. We have passed 30,000 subscribers on YouTube, which is beyond amazing. I never thought I would be at this point. I was checking my YouTube when I first uploaded the first episode, and I had like 30 subscribers or 30 viewers, and I thought that was amazing, and now here we are. So I want to give this to one of you viewers along with a stitch marker, which I will show you soon. All you need to do is to write below what you're knitting on, or what kind of things you want to knit on now. Is it some color? Is it some special technique? Is it a special pattern? Just leave a comment below and I will draw a winner on the next episode, which will probably not be until the middle of May, I think. Yeah, probably not. Life is busy. Just leave a comment below and I will draw a winner from that. So I will not open this now since I will be giving it away, but these are the 4 colors that it comes with. Okay, since last time I have bought some yarn. I bought 3 balls of this from County. I had gone to the yarn store 2 times without getting this, and every time I was in the store I was looking at it and I just thought the color was so beautiful and I just wanted it so bad. I definitely don't need it. I have cones and brown yarn and gray yarn, and this is a brown grayish yarn, but I just wanted it. And the 3rd time going back, I figured, you know what, I'm gonna get it, and either I'll make a sweater for myself, a shawl, or maybe a baby blanket in the future. It can be used for so many things. It's 100% wool, 150 grams in each of them, and 100 grams is like 400 meters, so there's a lot of yarn here. This is not the color changing one, it's just beautiful. So I did get that to put into my stash for future yarny goodness. Alright, back to other acquisitions. My cousin's girlfriend is a knitter, and she has moved to Norway, and she and I have sort of been swapping gifts for Christmas and birthday, and for my birthday she got me this book, which I got a little bit late because we don't live in the same place, and my cousin got it for me from her. And in this there is many beautiful, intricate, very Norwegian looking colorwork patterns, and there is one of them specifically that I really want to cast on. Let's see if I can find a photo without showing the pattern. Nope, this book doesn't work like that. So maybe I can hold something in front of it. Yeah, let's do this. So this is the pattern. It's called Traditions slips, which means tradition tie. And as knitting traditions, I really want to knit this for my boyfriend. I don't know what colors to do yet. Berge, who is designer of this book, he used Brooklyn tweed veil, which is 100% Rambouillet wool, and 50 grams is 410 meters, which means it's lace weight, because the fingering weight is 400 meters per 100 grams, and this would be 820 meters. So not sure what I'll use yet. I'm wondering if my woolly knit cones or knitrennie cones or Holst supersoft cones, if I can get gauge with those, because if I can, then I will use those. I have many beautiful earthy colors in those cones. So yeah, that's what I'm contemplating knitting right now. I also really like this kofte right here from this book. I'll see if I can find the name for you. I just really like the colors of it. It's called the Ole kofte, and it has some really nice 70s vibes, and it uses the rauma finull, which I have lots of, so that's also on my knit list for future knitting. I'm hoping the lighting's okay. The sun went away. I do have some more whips to show. I haven't opened them yet, so excuse the crinkling. I might just chop this out. So I apparently ordered some yarn for myself while on call. It was in the middle of the night, and I think I was just feeling a little bit tired and I needed a bit of comfort, and then Emma from Woolly Mammoth had an update. I'm subscribed to her newsletter now, so I can actually get some of her yarn. She sells out so quickly. I've been eyeing her jasmine color for quite a while, and she has different dye baths, and this is actually more saturated than I thought it would be, Online it looks more pale, but I think it's really beautiful. So I got 3 skeins of her jasmine on her natural sock. So this could be used for socks, but I got 3 because I was thinking I could make a sweater using this yarn. Her logo is just the cutest logo. And this is 50% BFL and 50% Cheviot wool. And it's sourced, spun and made in the UK, the fibers from the UK, and it's 400 meters per 100 grams, dyed in Northern Ireland by Emma herself. And it feels really nice. It's a nice woolly feeling. So I'm really happy I finally got my hands on this because I've been looking at this for a long time. She's had the jasmine color for a long time and I've been wanting to get my hands on them. So yes, 3 skeins of the jasmine. And I also got my hands on a sock set. This is the crocus sock set. And it's the same natural sock base. This looks like jasmine. It's not the same dye bath, but it looks like jasmine and it has a purple contrasts, which is a very crocusy color. And I thought this was just beautiful. Okay, so a couple of weeks ago, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, when I was looking for stitch markers, somebody recommended Jezebel from Canada. She's from Quebec, and I had a look, trying to cut out all the noises. She had some leather markers, and I thought they were beautiful, so I got some. She also creates leather bags, and this collection was inspired by Jeannette Bouldeau, her grandmother, don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, who was a redhead and everyone called her Le Rouge. She had great influence in Jezebel's life and the reason that she gets to live from her passion, and it's her way to pay tribute. So I got this beautiful, beautiful bag from Jezebel, or I bought this beautiful bag. And I first saw this on the Espace Tricot podcast and I thought it was stunning. And I really wanted to get it. And I've been saving up and now I have it. So this leather feels amazing. It's really soft. And this is the kind of knitting bag that you can have on your arm with your yarn in, and then you can walk and knit. So this will be the perfect companion for those projects that's a little bit bigger than just a sock, because I think for a sock I will use my twister, but this will be good for maybe a shawl or like a summer top, or maybe I'll just use it for everyday purse function. Might just do that. So yeah, beautiful. And these stitch markers has different sizes, so I think they're also going to be really nice to use. So I'm doing the knitcrate yarn for the giveaway, and I've also received some beautiful stitch markers that I've been told that I can use as a giveaway. So I was contacted by one of the viewers on Instagram, and she asked me if she could send me some stitch markers. And let's see, she's from the UK, and I'll just call her Mrs. P. I'll have to check if she's selling stitch markers at this point as I'm recording. If so, I will put it in the description box below. But she sent me some beautiful stitch markers. Some I will be keeping and some I'll be giving away. So there is this rose quartz, then the little sheepies. I love anything with little sheeps on them. There's also these progress keepers with sheeps, and then she also has some more special beads that she has created, and these progress keepers. So I was thinking, in line with all things blue, I will be sending this one with the knitcrate fade set for the giveaway winner. So just comment below something about knitting now in spring, and you'll be eligible to win. Yes. I also bought some stitch markers from Jusana Knit. I think I found her on Etsy. I was just playing around, and these are the two stitch marker sets that I got. I specifically really love this one right here. I think it's stunning. And also one progress keeper. You should see the floor in front of me. It's a mess. Okay. So I have one last acquisition to show you, and this is actually some yarn that I bought last year, so in 2021, I think around the time of New Year's, and there was some problem with shipping and it didn't arrive. It got returned to the sender, and then now it has arrived, and I almost didn't remember what I had gotten and or what I had planned with this yarn, but I've received it now, and I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different colors of yarn, and now I need to find a purpose for them, because I have a large or huge yarn stash, and I love having it, because when I am going to knit with something, I go into my stash, pick a yarn, and then find a project. But I like to have a theoretical purpose for a yarn, or a vision of something that it can be. So this is yarn that I got from Beaver Slide Dry Goods from the US. It's approximately $16 US per skein, and this is a mule spun yarn made from soft merino fleeces grown on the Montana Rocky Mountain front on a family-owned ranch, processed in Canada, where it's spun on an antique spinning mule. It's a 2-ply sock or sport weight yarn, where it's 80% merino and 20% fine kid mohair. It's approximately 458 yards, and this is the choke cherry heather. The feeling of this yarn is amazing. I think, yeah, it's coming back to me. Because of the mohair content, I was thinking that I could use it for socks. 80% merino and 20% kid mohair. But I'm also thinking, with how soft it is, that it would make some really nice hats or accessories, or maybe a striped garment. This pink is called Hollyhock Heather. It's the same base. The cream here feels even softer. This is the natural cream, same base again. And then I got a brown. This one does not feel as soft as the others. This is the natural sable brown, because this isn't merino, that's why. This is 80% brown wool together with 20% fine kid, so definitely more woolly feeling than the ones with the merino. I think these will make some really delicious socks. There's something about that earthy wool feeling on your feet that is really nice and warming and dry feeling. This is 80% merino the merino base with the kid mohair. I love this sagey green color. This is called the lichen frost, and I sort of wish I would have gotten a sweater's quantity in this. This is beautiful. I also got this other green one. This is the juniper heather. Again, the merino kid base. Out of the two greens, definitely my favorite. Then I got this, it feels really nice and soft. A merino and kid again in the autumn haze. Beautiful color. It's almost tweedy looking to the heather, with little neps of yellow and pinkish red and orange. And lastly, but not least, the Prairie Fire. Again, merino and fine kid. This too has a nice variation. It's not as tweedy looking, more heathery, and these two are also heathery looking, while these are not as heathery. This one is maybe a little bit more. They will look really nice together. So yeah, lots of possible deliciously soft colored socks, or maybe I'll have to make some other accessories with them as well. If you do live in the US or Canada and you want to try this, it does feel really nice. I don't know what it smells like. It doesn't smell like spinning oil. It smells like they've washed it with something. It has a specific scent to it, all of them. This is not as soft as the others, but it feels really nice as well, in a different, more earthy way. So yeah. Yarn! Doesn't it just make you happy? It makes me really happy. Alright, I think that was all for this time. I hope the sound's been okay and the lighting, and I will come back in a couple of weeks with some more knitting, hopefully. I put some video at the end of this recording of skiing during Easter. It was really nice skiing weather, the kind of Easter skiing where you can wear a t-shirt and shorts really because it's sunny and there was no wind on the top of the mountains. It was really nice. So I'll put some footage of that, and I hope you're safe and that you're okay wherever you are, and that you're knitting or crafting and that it's bringing you joy. And take care of yourself and your loved ones, and I will see you soon. Bye!